way, took the best of them and put them in a bottle. A lot of multivitamins, and now the super food antioxidants. Inspired by the power of nature. Nature's way.
All right. This is just a steal of a deal on a really great vacuum. I mean, none of us love to spend money on a vacuum. So spend as little as you vacuum need to and get
there at the time, but it was right before the market crash in 2008. I did not know that.
Breakfast and other nutritious food is a beautiful thing. It's a game changer. And you can help make it happen when you join me in supporting No Kid Hungry Today. That food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence.
It will stay on until he's comfortable. Is it that general, or are these very specific things that you can kind of go through and check to avoid these tariffs?
Yeah, I've had very specific conversations with Canadian officials and Mexican officials on what they can do. So they know what they can do to help avoid tariffs in the future and what we're expecting of them. If they do it, we shall see. We all recognize that each one of these leaders has political environments in their home countries as well, but President Trump means business, and he meant it when he ran to be president of the United States again, and since he's taken office, that he will put America first. And every day in this country, we have seen over the last several years violence and unsafe streets and cities, and people lose their children and grandchildren, and he's taking action to make sure that we're cleaning up the mess that Joe Biden left behind, and that we have a much safer country and where Americans can look forward to the future.
So this is not just leverage to get a better free trade deal. This is not just because President Trump truly believes that tariffs are part of his economic policy. You're saying this really is about fentanyl?
It really is about fentanyl. It really is. And I think that President obviously wants a strong economy, obviously wants better trade deals as well. But this is about fentanyl and what we can do to stop the cartels from partnering with Chinese officials, laundering money, and bringing a poison into our country that is specifically designed to kill the next generation. I think a lot of people don't understand the strategy of these enemies of the United States and what they're utilizing. They are bringing this in not just to make money, they're bringing it in here to kill Americans. And it's time that we stand up for the people that live here and make sure that we're stopping this war against our children.
I want to ask you, border crossings are at a 25-year low.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
There are 6,000 U.S. military personnel working at the border now. That number could go up to 9,000 by the end of the month. How long do you have to keep them there if the numbers are already dropping like this?
We'll continue the partnership with the Department of Defense, but also we've got partnerships with Commerce, with the Attorney General's office. You know, we're working every day with the Secretary of State. We'll keep them there until that border is completely secure, and we see all-time record lows of encounters. Our Border Patrol is doing fantastic work, but we're going to keep them there until the whole world gets the message that this isn't Joe Biden's world anymore. This is President Donald Trump's country, where we have a border, where we have laws, and it applies equally to everybody. I think that is what is so refreshing, is that we're not picking and choosing winners and losers anymore. Americans have to live by the law. So do those who come to this country. You have to come here legally, or there will be consequences.
Let me ask you about what's happening internally when it comes to, migration. The administration has revived this policy of detaining migrant families, parents with children, in ICE detention centers. Bush did it, Obama did it, Biden did not. Have you seen these Texas facilities where children are being held with their parents? Are you comfortable with it personally?
We've got detention facilities across the country, and there's specific ones that are built specifically for families if they are detained. But remember, everybody has an option. They have an option to be here legally or illegally, and they can self-deport as well. We've set up a system and a website where people who are here illegally right now can register, and they can choose to go home on their own and keep their families united. Well, the kids do have a choice. If they have parents, they make a choice to keep their families together if they want to, or not. The parents make a decision to leave their children behind.
Or to open a loan, purchase a home in your name, or to take over your investment accounts.
What an opportunity for us. A man after God's own heart, and a man who did all of God's will. I believe we have essentially the same book today. I think God has helped us to see what that book, all
plan is to return to work after my
through on enforcing the law, and if you break our law, then there's going to be
So
consequences.
you want the number of deportations to kick up.
I do, absolutely. So people, remember, they have an option to go home on their own.
Yeah.
We are giving them that opportunity to do that, and we will help facilitate that. And if they don't, and they end up coming into our enforcement opportunities that we have in front of us, they may never get the chance to come back. So people need to remember, if they self-deport, they will have an opportunity to come back to this country legally.
But you have a capacity issue right now in terms of just beds to put people in when you detain them. Are you going to open up military facilities like Fort Bliss?
There is, yes, a plan to use the facilities at Fort Bliss for detention facilities, but also we need to remember to ask, Congress needs to continue through with funding that this administration has asked for. We clearly have a CR discussion in front of us this week. We have a reconciliation discussion. That reconciliation bill needs to happen. We have just
started with a real cycle plan for following his confession.
terrorist watch list are out of this country now. We have almost 700 gang members that have been deported out of the country in just a month, and
Which have been redefined as foreign terrorist organizations.
well, 281 specific TDA members, which we know are the worst of the worst, have been taken out of this country. So everyone that has a story like Laken Riley's family or Jocelyn's family, they're extremely grateful that that won't be perpetuated amongst other families. And
But I give you something to make you sound smart.
What is it?
Just ancient Chinese game. In old days, armies line up for battle, but nobody get hurt. Instead, generals get chessboard out, and whoever win game, win battle.
That's fascinating. But can't you give me some tricky move?
specifically these two, were leaking our enforcement operations that we had planned and were going to conduct in several cities and expose law enforcement to vulnerabilities, to those ops being jeopardized, to where their lives would be in danger. So they will be prosecuted and they could face up to 10 years in federal prison because they did that. Anyone who is leaking information outside of how something is planned for the safety of those law enforcement officers needs to be held accountable for that.
And you're going to continue these polygraphing
Absolutely.
employees.
The authorities that I have under the Department of Homeland Security are broad and extensive, and I plan to use every single one of them to make sure that we're following the law, that we are following the procedures in place to keep people safe, and that we're making sure we're following through on what President Trump has promised, that he's going to make America safe again.
Madam Secretary, thank you for your time.
She really has no limits. That's all because of Shriners, hospitals, the children.
Mr. Ballinger was charged by our office with first-degree murder. He's the one who commits the murder. He's the one who goes in the house, sets the fire.
But while police have the confessed killer in custody,
Lawyers make bad comedians. I'll go for sandwich selling and a blend. Take it easy. I can't stand to see people suffer while I'm eating. Now I'm glad you like chess kill. Did you follow the moves?
a little. I just hated taking photos. How am I ever going to get rid of it?
Stop suffering from melasma. More than 600,000 people have regained. The city of Ghent has a noble goal. We want to be carbon-free in
Things I've always loved. I just press the button here and there's my oxygen.
Inogen is the original pioneer in portable oxygen concentrators, delivering medical-grade oxygen from a unit that's remarkably small and light. Our smallest bottle is less than 8 inches tall. That's about the height of a paper bag.
Must be some way to beat you. Well, there is, or rather there was. Now, if you would have used the Queen's Indian defense in a clocker game.
April. This has mostly been a war of words so far, rather than a war with wallet. But that's going to change in the coming day, as Ontario is now threatened with the tariff electricity it wires to Minnesota, Michigan, and New York.
cities to gather over
Verify.com and save up to 50% on your car insurance.
We now return to our show.
That's one Taiwan that will decide to be a different world.
It's a totally different world here, huh?
We're not a homogeneous group. We've got our Filipinos, we've got our Samoans, we've got our whites, we've got...
Help, Hybrids Wednesday? Is that reason for murder?
So impressed with his honesty that he got the job. Yeah.
That was beautiful, Mike. Right, fellas?
All right, so you can see how I select a channel and all of the information for that channel and the channels that are before it come up on the channel guide for the TV, but then somebody uses either Viper, Cobra, or Python, augmented artificial intelligence language, the snake language, like the all the socks graffiti around the town from a girl that I met in Manhattan who I never did anything wrong to, but apparently she hates me for whatever reason because she's a Mason and I'm not. And all of her Mason gangsters are in the building. Tanasha Raymond is a Mason gangster. Felix Adai is a Mason gangster. Carmen Ortiz is a Mason gangster. I'm not a Mason. I never want to be one because they break the law too much. But the girl YANA Socks, who I met in Manhattan at the Best Buy across from the BAPHOMET Lodge on 23rd Street and 6th Avenue. Yeah, she came to me while she was pushing a woman in a wheelchair and told me she wanted to be with me. So we spent 3 nights together and then she left me without saying goodbye or any kind of warning at all whatsoever. Stole my jacket and my iPod. And then very shortly after, I went to Manhattan Psychiatric Center because I was homeless in the streets and I was having problems. So I went to Manhattan Psychiatric Center. And then pretty much all hell broke loose on me. Felix Adai in apartment 4J underneath me. He's in the apartment underneath me right now. Felix Adai in apartment 4J underneath me was with me the whole entire time at Manhattan Psychiatric Center, but you know, he was always quiet, he was never saying anything, and he would follow me around and write notes about me. And now he's living underneath me, and I think he's using antennas to sabotage my TV for YANA, aka Socks, because allegedly YANA, aka Socks, the Mason from the Baphomet Lodge that came to me at the Best Buy across from the Baphomet Lodge on 23rd Street and 6th Avenue. She found out that the Black Panther Baphomets inside the Baphomet Lodge roboted her to want to be with me for 3 nights. So what YANA, aka Socks, did was went to her Mason higher-ups from the Baphomet Lodge and shot-called and held secret court. And then ordered Tanasha, Felix, and Carmen and the people that roboted YANA, aka Socks, to want to spend 3 nights with me in Manhattan to come here to community access and to kill me with their antennas and their Python, Cobra, and Viper computer language. As you can see on the word Socks that's written all over the town, she uses the S on the word Socks graffiti that's all over town here. And the S is her, YANA, as a snake. And her tail is a stinger like a scorpion. And it's shaped in the shape of a triangle, which is the Mason triangle. And then there's an antenna next to the triangle on the S for Socks. She uses the word Socks because in 2014, YANA, aka Socks, and me were chilling in Union Square on 14th Street. And I pulled out a brand new pair of socks and I put brand new socks on her feet as we were sitting there in Union Square on 14th Street. I saw she had dirty the socks that she had on they were not as good as I thought they should have been, so I took them off and I put new ones on. That's what that is. But YANA, aka Socks, who knows that I never had anything to do with her coming to me at the Best Buy across from the Baphomet Lodge. YANA, aka Socks, knows that I had absolutely nothing to do with her wanting to come to me. I didn't even think it was possible. I didn't know her. I don't know any Masons. I've never been affiliated with any Masons anywhere in this country, and I never will be. NYPD, the 42nd Precinct, please do something about this. These people are hacking my eyes. They're looking at everything I do through my eyes. They're gassing me up, swelling my abdomen up, shutting my bowels down. And they're hitting me with that brown antenna next to Popeye's. Carmen Ortiz in 5K, she's got her antenna on me. Felix Adai in apartment 4J, Adai, add AI, he's got his antennas on me. Then Tanasha Raymond in apartment 5I, she's got her antennas on me. And they're all Masons, protected by the Masons from the Baphomet Lodge on 23rd Street and 6th Avenue, the Black Panther Lodges here in the Bronx, and Carmen's lodges here in the Bronx, and YANA, aka Socks, is protected by her Masons, so they all get to gang up on me, hack me, bully me, sabotage and destroy my life, and I don't have anybody to go to. Nobody. No, I refuse to go to the Masons. I refuse to beg them for help because they're criminals. So I go to NYPD, the FBI, and the Department of Justice, and nobody's doing anything, man. Nobody's doing anything to help me, but all these criminal Masons around me who are attacking me, they get unlimited amounts of help and support to do it. Please help me, NYPD, FBI, and the Department of Justice. This has been going on since 2014 with this woman, YANA, aka Socks.